It's been working. Within a year, that's a lot. If he can open it from this side, you can't open it from that side.
Hey, let's do
Yeah,
that.
perfect, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. I don't know.
Oh, there is a deadbolt. That's a whole
But
fashioned.
that's
That's
the
your right.
idea is to
Me.
keep people from. There.
Okay, everyone, we are good.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's salute. Be led by Mr. Kennedy.
Thanks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What I put on the side is I locked.
Yeah.
Oh, then we'll.
Direction.
Okay. Wonderful.
Really?
Yeah, it's something sticky.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the village board meeting of May 22nd, 2024. Actually, it's Tuesday, May 27th. And we, but I understand anybody who happened to get or agenda.
If you go on the website and see the agenda, it says Monday, May 27th. You missed that.
But remind everybody, if there's an emergency, please exit to the rear of the building. Please hold your vehicle, please not leave until so directed by emergency service personnel. If you're at home, you know you're back to works.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Requesting approval of the board meeting minutes of May 12th as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, I just have one amendment now. I feel like I'm playing the role of trustee keys. I'll submit this to the deputy clerk. There was just one word that was indicated on. It said that indicated that her husband had been the coach. We'd actually indicate that her son had been the coach.
Oh.
I'll submit that
Can
change.
you
not
send
pick
that
that up.
writing?
Okay, yeah, I'll submit it to the deputy clerk.
Yes. Good catch, Frank. Okay, and then I also have the
Does
chance.
that mean a resident editor didn't edit that?
I did not pick up on that. I don't know, yeah, we're not managing that well.
To trustee Weeks' credit, that was an editorial change. It wasn't just a spelling change or an English language change.
By
It
family
was editorial.
familiarity,
Right.
genealogy and all kinds of other stuff required to make that change.
Thank you, Mayor.
Not everyone's fault.
I now have the tax warrant to read and seek approval of. You are hereby commanded, this is to me from the tax assessor, to receive and collect from persons named in the tax roll hereunto annexed the several sums stated in the last column hereof opposite their respective names, being a total of $13,839,649.13 for the following purposes. For current budget village tax, $9,505,649.69. For charges for refuse levy, $1,969,426.00. For sewer district levy, $2,200,805.04. And for business improvement district, $163,768.40. You are further commanded to receive and collect such sums without penalty between the first day of June 2025 and the first day of July 2025, and thereafter to collect with such sums that have not been collected and an additional charge of 5% for the first month and 1% for each month until paid. You are further commanded to return the tax roll and warrant to the village treasurer on or before the first day of February 2026 and deliver to the board of trustees at the same time an account of taxes remaining due and unpaid, describing each parcel and the amount of taxes unpaid. That is the tax warrant.
A motion to.
I would move that we approve the 2025-2026 tax warrant until the tax clerk can get to work.
I second that.
Okay.
Aye.
Right. No, forget bills.
Village treasurer.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Bills total. 1 million, this is for the period of 5/12 through 5/27. 1,842,180.40. Five largest, Land Tech for Ryder Avenue Ball Field. Looks nice, 877,465.44. Adjo Phase 2 Sewer, 308,902.50. Johnson Control Phase 2 Solar, 197,484. Town of Brookhaven for landfill fees, 47,562.68. And Clear River for sludge removal, $22.46. Totaling 1,453,460.62. If I could have approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Reedy, Winter Brothers started beginning of this past month, is that?
The what, I'm sorry,
Winter Brothers
Winter Brothers, yes,
on the refuse, so
Yes.
this number should go up substantially,
yes,
hopefully over the next, over the last couple of years, really going through the refuse.
yeah, it's gonna reflect in a savings for the taxpayer, no question, because it's gonna be at least $11 a ton from that's less than the town of Brookhaven,
Right.
which is pretty remarkable.
I have one more item, if I may. I request approval to charge the following fees for lawn cutting, which will be completed by our DPW. This is for residents. Lawn cutting fee $150, $150, I'm sorry. Cleanup up to 3 hours, $550. And dump fees, that's our cost at the landfill of $100. If I could have approval for those.
So I have a question for the lawn, and this is when the grass is too.
Yep.
When they're
And hand.
out of hand, so it would be all those prices
No.
or?
No, it's
Each
just
one.
lawn cutting. If they need to get cleanup done,
That's
because it's a mess,
Mhm.
it would be $550 up to 3 hours. And then
Okay.
the dumping fees is $100. I'm sure the dumping fees relate,
Yeah, it's kind of an à la carte type of situation depending upon how bad the property needs cleanup.
That's based upon neighborhood complaint, concerns by any of the trustees of what they see.
Is it, I'm sorry,
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
is it something also where someone, like, maybe someone's elderly and infirm and they just can't do it? I mean, this is new to me.
We don't knock on the door first, find out what the circumstances are. And there are certain circumstances, we may help them find somebody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to do it. And sometimes they want you to do it on occasion. Because we take it to their tax bill at the end of the year. But, so,
Okay.
No,
Okay.
we just wanna be really clear for purposes of the record, this is not a social services.
No, it's not.
Subsidy.
no, this
We do
is,
not have that ability to do that.
we don't just cut it though, without advising them of what's going to happen.
There's like a ticket, I suppose, hey, you're,
Correct.
We're here because
it's out on lot.
building and housing sends somebody to the house.
Mhm.
Warns them, advises them. We wait, if they don't do it, then we do it, and then we go. So it isn't one of these things, like, the attorney said, this isn't, social services, we go cut people's lawns because they need it. And they cut people lawn because neighbors are complaining about it.
I was just a little bit confused with the cleanup and lawn cutting, like the cleanup would be other things apart from lawn cutting.
Right, it was a hoarder situation where they had all
Okay.
kinds of debris on the property, that's for them.
Like a major fall cleanup or just leaves and branches and everything,
But Mr. Egan's, the attorney Egan's point is well taken. This isn't social service.
It's to maintain the character of the neighborhood, to make sure that it doesn't look.
Kevin, I don't think we do leaves and sticks. I think this is bad debris.
That's pretty good.
That's the
pretty good
tracking-
price, actually.
that's the
Yeah,
tracking
for
for-
a major cleanup, $550 is like nothing.
Take a second.
Actually, I'll approve it. Oh, you made the motion?
Okay.
And there's the second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron, I want to compliment you on the
Aye.
fact that you're fine
Okay,
and the
that's-
bill
Aye.
on that.
Bye.
Aye.
Aye, all of us. Yeah,
Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held on Monday. I'm sorry. Tuesday, May 27th, 2025 at 6 P.M. in the municipal building, 14 Baker Street. Patchogue, New York, 11772, by the Village Board of Trustees of the Incorporated Village of Patchogue to amend chapters 369 and 435 of the Village Code to provide the most current versions for reference documents and updated permit numbers by proposed local law, a copy of which is on file at the office of the village clerk. At said public hearing, any person interested will be given the opportunity to be heard.
Would you like to explain that to me?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's not really much, it's just ministerial change, changing two permit numbers that were updated by state.
Yeah, this should be one of the shortest public hearings
Yeah.
in history. Some businesses, mine included, are also impacted in the same way. You're operating under a state general permit. But the state's required periodically, every 3 years or so, to come under a new permit, usually with the EPA. And in the case of a business, we have to then file a notice of intent. I think the village does also, from what I've seen. And so it's a different number. It's GP, whatever, and
Correct.
so it's just cleaning that up, and
Correct.
that's all it is.
Okay. Motion.
I'll motion.
We're gonna have.
Oh, no, public.
Public hearing, anybody want to reconfigure the plan? All in favor?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I did, anyway.
And I.
369 is a very special number. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9.
Okay. Yeah, request approval of hire Adriana.
One, okay,
Okay. It's called position secretary to the maker, it's really secretary for the office. And now we rate $20 an hour effective June 2nd, 2025. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
Request approval to appoint Jonathan D. Keys as chairperson, Climate Smart Task Force for a 1-year term effective May 24th, 2025, to March 30th, 2026. It's a committee that was that in chair, and we had kept that position open because Jonathan had showed an interest in doing something that.
I wholeheartedly make that motion.
I'll second it. And I believe he was a member of that
yes, it was.
task force also.
I don't think you start to do some things with them already, haven't you?
Yeah, we have a meeting this week with Andrew Mannett from the Sustainability Institute at Malloy College, who's the local outreach to villages who are seeking to be climate smart communities.
Excellent.
The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Yeah, we got Mr. Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone. Nice to be here to give a report from the Business Improvement District and some special projects here in the village. Starting with the Business Improvement District, coming up on Tuesday, June the 10th, it will be our annual meeting where we will reappoint the 3 seats that are up on our bid board, as well as adopt our budget for the coming year. Notices have gone out, and I'm getting a very healthy return back of the proxies. It's always good when you get that. It's usually a sign that people are happy and they want everything to move forward as it always has. This weekend, we did get all the hanging baskets up just in time for Memorial Day. They all went up on Saturday. And now to support that, now that the plantings are almost up and all the hanging baskets are up, it's time to appoint our watering personnel. And I know on the agenda tonight is the appointment, both Tom Giordano and Jimmy Armstead Jr. They've been doing it. They do an amazing job, and they're returning again for us this year. Sunday, June the 8th, that will be our opening day for our farmers market. No, it does coincide with the Pride Parade that day. But we'll probably do a little something around 11 just to commemorate the reopening of the farmers market under the new leadership of Abby. I'm really excited about this and looking forward to seeing a great season this year. And then, the other thing to bid, we did get in last Friday, our grant application for the downtown revitalization, round 23 grant funding for this year. And as you know, we're putting in for a project. It's phase 1 for Waverly Avenue to do some improvements of the sidewalks, get some lighting up there that will continue this and really to recognize that Waverly Avenue really has become part of our business district. More and more, you're seeing a lot of businesses pop up there, and it really is part of the growing business district. Now to some special projects, and first I'm gonna start, for really exciting news. That we just found out this Thursday, that the Village of Patchogue has been awarded from the state DEC, money to support a food scrap grant, food scrap pilot program. Very significant, and you know, what I'll admit, it is bittersweet, because, this was one of the first things that Joe Keys asked me to work with him on, and getting submitted. Myself and Marion Russo worked with Joe. So it just shows his legacy is long lasting. And hopefully this is a program that this pilot program will lead to a permanent program that we're collecting food scrap grants. So I can put out there to the public, you know, we're still haven't released how people will be selected, but we're going to be looking for 100 families in this community to do this pilot program. So certainly, if people are interested, I encourage them to reach me here at Village Hall. We'll put your name on a list and contact you once the more formal process would be to select the families on that. So very excited. I believe we're going to be one of the first municipalities on Long Island to institute something like this. And the idea is we're going to invest in some of these receptacles around the community where people in the pilot program could bring their food scraps to. DPW has agreed to pick up, and part of the grant is to get Tim a nice new truck to do this, to pick up the food scrap grants and bring it to DPW. And this partnership includes working with Citizens Campaign for the Environment, who deserve a lot of credit in pointing this grant out to us and encouraging to do it. And they will be doing the educational component of this and educating people about collecting food scraps. And they've also organized a partnership with Long Island Compost. It is the only facility on Long Island that has this.
Anaerobic digestion.
Thank you for always remind me what that's called. But basically, they'll be able to take the food scrap grant and food scrap waste and turn it into energy. And it's the only facility on Long Island. They're going to do that for no cost to the village. They're going to come to DPW and pick it up.
Exciting.
So yeah, it's a great program, and I look for our 100 families to sign up. If anybody has any questions, let me know.
Dave,
Yeah,
quick question.
Sure.
100 families, they're gonna be, the families have to take the scraps to DPW?
No. So there'll be about 6 of these small. So every family will get a plastic bin.
Yeah.
Where they'll collect the food scrap grants, and then in about 4 locations throughout the village will be these receptacles that
You
just.
take them and dump
So
them.
that's where you take them to. And then DPW staff will go to those different collection points and pick them up and bring them back to DPW.
And correct me if I'm wrong, do the people who are in the pilot program will have some sort of a, some way to scan so that not
Yes.
everyone can dump their stuff?
Correct, that
You
is
know,
part of.
Or they can't put garbage in, they can't just open.
Yes, and it will be the collection would only, right, there'll be a card or maybe a fob that they will be able to scan to be able to open that.
Because otherwise anybody could be.
Yeah.
Very good point.
They'll get filled up real quick.
Yes, and that was.
Just an anecdote.
Sure.
I lived in Massachusetts in 1973. We had little garbage bins in the ground in front of our house, had a lid on it, so animals could not get into it. And that was a special garbage collection room in 1973.
Wow, I'm catching up. Excellent. And just other special projects, you probably saw some work started for the theater arch. We did discover today something that was unforeseen. There was some concrete slabs underneath where they started digging, so we'll slow it up a little bit. Our engineer, Tim, is meeting with the engineer of the project to kind of come up with a way that we can work around that. But the arch should be going up really soon. Ball field, the only thing left now is just the training for the lights. I anticipate at some point this week, we're gonna get that date, and in a week or 2 weeks' time, we're gonna see people playing ball on that field. And we will probably do some kind of ceremony to commemorate the reopening of the field, so stay tuned for that. I'm sure it's gonna be within the next couple of weeks.
Just mention saying, that was a what, $1.3 million project?
Yes,
We had bonded and already had the bond in place for the solar lighting in the train parking lot. It was $5.2 million they were bonding. State came through with a $3 million grant towards that. So the funding we're using to build that ball field was money that had been allocated for something else. So it really fit in very nicely.
Yeah,
And that we didn't go out and bond more than we could afford. We were bonding the amount that we could afford at the point that we did.
yeah, excellent point, excellent point. And then another project, you might recall a few weeks or a few meetings back, this village entered into an agreement with CTUC about an oyster project. It's an educational project that also will help hopefully seed some oysters on our bay bottom right there. So you'll see on your agenda tonight, just the next step is about to happen. They'd like to put the floating docks in, and as well as a fence off of Mascot Dock, you know, because it's only going to be accessible to those that are in the program. So that's going to be moving forward this week with your approval. And then, you know, just a couple things with the parks departments. First, you know, I'm sure Trustee Creel, we talked about it, but congratulations to you. A wonderful Hispanic Day, beautiful day. Yeah, no, of course, the Parks Department was always glad to help. And as was mentioned, the Chaskin Pickleball Open, the first in Patchogue's history, is coming up this Saturday. So all the spots have been taken. So it's all full. It should be a very spirited competition. I know my wife signed up with, she used to be a tennis player, never played pickleball in the beginners, but I understand Maria and Stefania are also competing. So I'm wondering if my wife is going to be playing against Maria, and my loyalty is going to be split there.
Top dog's dead.
No split
No, of course not. My wife heard that.
That's a safety.
That she's locking the door right now. Yeah, and then the other thing that we're excited about that I'm working with Maria and Marion too is a local student here, a local teacher. His name is Joshua Maines. He's a middle school teacher at Oregon Middle School, and he came to us about he also is runs a program for the school about teaching the kids environmental education, but he wanted to get their hands into something. And he reached me out one day and he said, what can we come up with? And it turns out, you know, with our living shoreline, there is an educational component that is required for it. And also, one of the biggest issues we have right now is these Phragmites. They're hard to keep down, you know? And we could use people to start picking out some of the growing Phragmites. So this really worked out really well, that probably on June the 10th, about 20 students are going to be here, do a little program and help us pick out these Phragmites. And this might be the model for something permanent that we'll do to have the educational component for our living shoreline and help us control those Phragmites. So all good there. All right, unless anybody else has got anything for me, that's everything I got tonight. All right, thank you.
Thanks, David.
Savon?
Hello. How's everybody doing? Good. My report's super short. This upcoming Friday, May 30th, is the inaugural event for the Long Island Equality, where they will be passing their grand staff to their 2 grand marshals. They are actually a mother and son duo who work together at South Shore Counseling. So Michelle Cavalieri and Chris Genovese. So it's this Friday at Blue Point from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. Love for all you to come. I will be there. David touched base that June 8th is the Pride Parade. It's also my birthday, so. Previously I had mentioned that June 10th, we were saving the date for Power and Heels. That has been postponed. A date has still yet to be decided, but we're anticipating that it'll be in September as opposed to June 10th. So if you had your calendars marked, please clear them. June 25th, we have a grand reopening rather for the Verizon store on Main Street. They've changed owners, and that'll be from 2 to 4 with a ribbon cutting at 3 p.m. That's all I have for today.
I suspect I'll get 5 or 6 emails telling me that.
I like to be thorough.
Well, this is not a bad thing.
And then my last thing is that I'm requesting approval for the date of St. Liberata on September 6th from 12 to 5 p.m. with a rain date of September 7th, which is the Sunday.
Always a good time.
Can we just do that right now? Make a motion to request approval for the Greater Patchogue Chamber of Commerce to hold its St. Liberata Festival on Saturday, September 6th Rain date September 7th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. with road closures on Main Street from Maple Avenue to West Avenue and Ocean Avenue from Oak Street to Church Street from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's motion.
Second.
Third.
Aye.
I think we all second that, it's a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Great. I'm looking forward to having the Tarantella with all. That's all for my report. I hope you all have a great evening.
Thank you.
Trustee Franklin, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. First, a big thank you to Elizabeth. Your parade, I had such a wonderful time, the enthusiasm and just, it was such a wonderful way to celebrate that picture, and I really, really loved it. So thank you for all your hard work on that. It was fantastic.
Thank you, and thank you for being there.
It was my pleasure, and a wonderful, and solemn Memorial Day event. I'm always so touched by how our veterans come together and make sure that we understand the importance of that day. And it's true meaning. So I was very, very touched and moved, and it was a beautiful day yesterday, beautiful day. So for your zoning and planning report, I just want to make sure that everyone's aware that we're gonna have a very special meeting on June 10th for the planning board to discuss the hotel. It's a standalone because we anticipate that there will be a lot of community questions regarding that. So we wanted to make sure that we had a date held aside so that everyone can have their opportunity to be present for that. So I've already loaded that onto the website. All details and plans are up for that. So please visit our website for more information. The zoning board of appeals will next meet on June 3rd. We have several new applications. A couple of renewals of special permits from different organizations. And we also have at 33 Medford Avenue, everyone needs to understand they're doing a special medical office on the lower level, which they're requesting relief of parking. It's not 163 parking spaces that they need. That's for the entire building. So just if you see that and are concerned, please know that they're just a small lower level area. Birdie's is seeking permission for their renewal of their special permit. And we have a wellness studio that is seeking a special permit for health related services. Closed and held is the Big Cat Bikes over on Academy. They're putting together some information regarding that. So there will be some changes over there. Awaiting the regular planning board meeting agenda. I should have that for you next time. And then on my wish list this evening, requesting approval to ratify prior approval for the Island Slow Pitch to use Shorefront Park and Garcia Field from Monday, May 19th to Sunday, August 31st on the following dates and times. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Thursdays and Fridays from 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. and Sundays from 8:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and then 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And that's a motion.
Second.
So again, so that I gather Shorefront Park and Garcia Field, that's both fields.
Just, no, but hold on a second. First of all, we need to check the time. 11 o'clock seems late to me for softball games ago. And so let's approve the dates, the start times.
And check the end times. I thought it was a little bit late as well. I think,
It's back, it's into a neighborhood now.
yeah.
You know, one of the things, let's take a look at that.
My recollection of playing ball those years is there were 3 start times, 7, 8, 20, 8:20 and 9:20. So the last game used to get over late. This is down at Shorefront though, of course.
Yeah.
But now if you're going to play on the new field, you have residences that abut that,
Yeah, of
so
course, street from it.
maybe mindful of that.
Oh,
I understand that the light timing, does it go up at 10 o'clock or something like that?
We set that. Well, that's one of the things we're being trained at. We will be able to set that time.
well, I haven't played for years, but that's how it always used to be, and that's the village's own softball
Yeah.
leagues.
David,
So
will you talk to Maria tomorrow?
Yes, absolutely. No, I'm just taking note of the end time.
David, it's a good point.
Right.
David, why don't we give a call to Town of Brookhaven and see what the end times are? Because we never had a problem with it down in Shorefront because it's not into a neighborhood, it's on the water. This is
I don't ever remember us approving something that late.
We never approved, we tried to approve it, as long as I've ever been on the board, it's never been a discussion. But as soon as you say 11, we'll go to 11,
And that's late.
and I would just like to see if we can take it.
On a weekday, a work day,
They have Sunday ending at 10. Tuesday, Thursdays and Fridays start at 8:30 to 11.
That's kind of late to start.
And I think maybe these times should just be reviewed. Dates are good.
10 o'clock's the latest.
We will definitely review those times.
Take a look at it, and let's just,
They want to start,
let's talk about it in terms of.
oh, prior approval, or approved it actually.
yeah,
We're just ratifying it.
we're ratifying.
I don't think. I ever
No,
saw 11 p.m.
Yeah, approve it pending discussions on.
And then,
11 o'clock.
Mhm.
Just, you know, let's get it on the calendar.
I'll move it accordingly.
Yeah.
To what the name just said.
Then
Yeah,
it's just-
it was already moved by Susan,
Okay, I'll second it.
and Tom's already
Oh,
seconded.
there you go. I'm gonna hold it, buddy.
I didn't hear him.
Bye.
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Now that we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Requesting approval to hire Amari Martinez for the position of recreation aide at an hourly rate of $16.50 from May 27th to June 20th. Motion.
Second.
Aye.
Okay.
Requesting approval to hire Lindsay Tracy as dock staff at an hourly rate of $18 from June 2nd to September 2nd. Motion.
Second.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
So like,
Thomas?
Okay, I've got just a couple of things left. Request approval to hire Tom Giordano and James Armstead as watering truck operators at an hourly rate of $25 effective May 28th. That's a motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Request approval to waive planning and zoning board application fees for Bread of Life Foundation Corporation, a 501c3 charitable organization. That's a motion.
All in favor?
Second.
What are they doing that they need, what's the planning board?
This is Lynette.
What is she doing?
She is doing by appointment only distribution of food and other necessities.
Food pantry at 40 Waverly Avenue, starting on June 1st.
Don't they usually already do food distribution, or is this the first time?
This is the first time that she's in a location.
Oh, okay.
And it's between the traffic circle. It's like across from the cemetery in that section of Waverly Avenue.
Ooh.
And I understand a patron of hers is paying the rent, patron of their organization, so that they can give away turkeys and things like that.
Mhm.
Motion.
Aye.
All in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
aye.
That's all I have.
Trustee Lee?
Alright.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. I have the Building and Housing Financial Report for April 2025. It was a good month. Top 5 sources of revenue. There's some new players in here that don't usually get into the top 5. Rental permits, which is usually number 2, is number 5 this month, $3,475. Fire inspections, considering they're usually only $50 a pop, $3,570. That's number 4, Stephen Armstead, and of course, Mike Recchio doing a fine job. Plumbing permits, number 3, $4,875. Number 2 source of income, this is probably a one-off that this is probably the busiest month of the year for this. Outside cafe permits brought in $8,400 during the month of April. And as usual, the top banana is building permits, $38,610 for a total revenue of $65,325 for the month of April. Kudos to everybody, both in the office and in the field, for outstanding work that they always do.
Pay for themselves.
They do indeed. So again, as is the case with all of our departments, the hard work of our professionals really is the star of the show here in this village. I'd like to request approval to hire James Fava
Oh, I'm sorry.
as a sanitation laborer in the Department of Public Works, starting at an hourly rate of $28.48, effective June 2nd, and then increasing to full pay in 18 months. That's a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trying to give you time.
Next, I'd like to request approval. David mentioned this in his report. This is quite exciting.
Very.
Request approval of a resolution to allow Seatuck Environmental Association to install and connect floating docks to the mascot dock with a fence installed at the connection point. The purpose of controlling access for the implementation of the Oyster Recovery Program partnership, with installation to commence on Thursday, this coming Thursday, May 29th, and to be supervised and approved by the Village Department of Public Works, and also the approval of insurance certificates by the village clerk, and that is a motion.
I give a hard second on that one.
And we have received all the insurance.
You've got the insurance.
We've already met with them at Bayport Blue Point. We're probably going to be having students come over as part of their normal.
That's part of the paper as well.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. And piggybacking on that, I happen to know this because I hold this vote out today. Belleport took 500,000 oysters today from a Cornell Cooperative. So the re-oystering of the bay is moving forward at nice pace.
Excited.
One, I'd like to request, let's back it up. I would like to request approval to hire public safety officers Amon Douglas and Raymond Tobia at an hourly rate of $21 effective on May 28th, which is tomorrow. That's a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi,
And that's all I have to say.
I'm so slow today.
Trustee Kroll.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for being there, for taking amazing pictures of the Hispanic parade. The Lions Club, the Rotary Club for being there and supporting the parade. Like I've mentioned before, it's not just about the Hispanic community, but just cultures in general and celebrating also the Hispanic culture, but just being a community, the village, and just what everyone brings and celebrates. So I'm very thankful for the sponsors, Toys for Tots, everyone made this possible, especially because so many people were afraid this year. So all the participants that participated, thank you so much.
I like that Toys for Tots was actually giving out toys.
Yes,
Yes,
they were.
It was cute.
Yes, and La Hara Band, they became our.
Yeah, I mean,
They're great.
So it's funny because everyone has a difficult time taking, getting them here to Long Island. But they just support this parade. They have thousands of followers and they even did a video of the village of Patchogue and supporting the parade. Apart from that, we had honorees with 2 million followers. And everyone coming to the village of Patchogue and putting those videos of the village of Patchogue. And they're just amazed of all the support in the village of Patchogue, and they all support this parade. So thank you for everyone's participation.
Great day in the village, and the weather evens out over time. The weather this year could be.
Yeah, Elizabeth, compliments you for a great parade and Lori for her fabulous picture. Incredible. I sent that link that you sent out to 100 people. And I want to say I'm very proud of my Lions Club.
Yeah.
Because there's some members of my Lions Club who may not have wanted to go. Peter Fian, out of state.
Very thankful
Really
for
good.
the support. And yesterday, and like Susan was mentioning, trustee Brinkman was mentioning, just yesterday, just felt, it's a day to remember that we have and all, things, unfortunately, to the sacrifices of so many men and women. So, and it felt united and it felt beautiful and we had a great day yesterday, beautiful weather. So it's a time to remember.
There was some slow walkers in the parade. However, we all managed to make it to the finish line.
We're trying to keep up to the group in front of us because they left us in the dust.
You guys did phenomenal.
And I tried to get them to move along, but they're pokey.
I like to call him as saying, Mr. Mayor, it was a wonderful speech you gave us.
Yes.
Yes.
We have so many people walking for that park and they don't realize the monuments that are there.
Significance.
You know, really take a look at them,
Absolutely.
especially the Civil War one.
I love that Civil War
People
one.
looking, you just go through the names,
Mhm.
and you're gonna realize every street in town, is saying, yeah, somebody on that monument, this is true. Pick it up.
Thank you. All right, I would like to, from the CDA, just, friendly reminder that there will be a meeting next Thursday at 6 p.m. Please come and, it's a time to hear about more of, Section 8, certain projects that we're helping. So yeah, it's a great time and it's very quick. So I encourage everyone to come and visit and back here Thursdays, the first Thursdays of every month at 6 p.m. I would like to request approval for Avenue Sound to hold their Battle of the Boom event at 260 East Main Street on Sunday, June 29th, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the closure of Potter Street from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Motion?
Second that, and I'll ask if anybody knows what the Battle of the Boom actually is.
Probably very loud.
They have, amazing, it's fun. I went past and I felt the boom. They've had it in the past.
The boom box. Anyway, I second that motion.
More fair?
Aye.
And the next one's very quiet.
I mean, I'm just son.
I'd like to request approval for the Patchogue Doll Frontiers to use the recreation room for their monthly meetings of the following dates: September 17th, October 15th, and December 17th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You never know, they could get a little rowdy.
I would like to request approval for the Tuesday ladies to attend the Patchogue Beach Club on Tuesday, July 8th, and Tuesday, August 12th at 1 p.m. It's on Tuesday.
Second.
Make a motion.
Aye.
I would like to request approval for a date change for the previously approved 5K race for Gigi's Playhouse on Sunday, October 5th, with a rain date of Sunday, October 19th. Make a motion?
I'll second that. Aye.
Aye. And lastly, I know that it's early, but I would like to regarding the parade, possibly seeing if I can start working on the next, which is in the annual date, which would be May 17th
Okay.
next year. Make a
If
motion.
Lori will do it on the next.
Okay.
Yes, send me an email.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
that's good.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it. Mr. Siegel, you gotta have some seniority here.
What?
Can't hear
Not really, really? The parade was great. Parade was great. Everybody loved it.
Mr. Bojack?
Thank you.
Good job.
At 78, the less seen member.
Are you taking a picture of me or Lori when you're taking a picture before?
Before, all of you. Yeah, it's good for people to see a post, it orients people, so you would get credit, so. 3 questions, hopefully all quick, and 2 of them are legal questions, actually, so, I believe the New York State Court of Appeals is about to hear a case reordering elections,
Yeah.
especially village elections. That's part of the process anyway. If the Court of Appeals rules in favor of that new law, how does this board get impacted?
It doesn't, it's, villages are exempted from that. You're talking about the one where they're all gonna be elections at the same time. of the year.
Yes.
No, we stay where we're at, March and.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So no impact.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the mayor beat me to the punch, but generally, nobody forgets that villages exist.
Okay,
And in this round too, they did the exact same thing.
okay, so then next year is the next round of elections, right?
Yes,
In March?
March of next year, yeah.
Right, okay.
It will be on Wednesday, because Tuesday is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those anomalies in the calendar.
Okay. That's one question, that was quick. The hotel's on the agenda for the planning board, which is good to see, I'm in favor of it, and I wanna see it move ahead, but there are some always questions. At a planning board meeting or a zoning board meeting, I'm not sure which. It has to be a zoning board meeting. The rooftop restaurant on Main Street,
Rum.
Rum, right. There's a prohibition about rooftop music. And it becomes relevant when we start talking about the hotel because they're gonna have a rooftop restaurant. Well, it turns out that they're in a different zoning area than the hotel's gonna be, so all the restrictions that apply to Rum do not apply to the hotel. That's according to your colleague,
I'll,
will you?
yeah,
Okay.
and if that is the case, that would be changed.
Right, because he had mentioned this, I think all of us have been thinking of this same well, that the restrictions on the rooftop. You know, the loud music from a rooftop bar would apply to the hotel. But according to that determination from the attorney for the zoning board, that's not the case, and he suggested that the board of trustees will have to change the zoning law.
I'll take a double check.
Okay.
Chris is very rarely wrong.
We've all been hanging our hat on the fact
Yeah.
that that legislation would apply to the hotel.
Right, I was surprised, but they came up with for a renewal of their special permit,
Yes.
so I did bring it up because I just want to refresh everyone's memory about what might apply. Third question and last question, also related to the hotel in a way. I saw your office release that most recent traffic study, which is the study of the applicants. traffic
Well, we
study.
released it because you asked for it.
Yes, I asked.
I mean, it's, you know, part of, it really was done for the planning board, you know, for their evaluation
Right.
when it gets to that.
But I went through it this afternoon, it's only 3 pages, but what I found missing from it, and maybe this was never intended, but I thought it was. There's no assessment of the intersection at River Avenue and Division Street in that study. And I think that's a flaw, I believe. If that's the case.
Well, this issue's come up very recently because of a neighbor of mine that met with me and had some ideas about the intersection. I shared that with my colleagues on the board. It was unbeknownst to me, there had been a traffic study. Correct me if I'm wrong with this, John, but it had been requested by you a few years ago about the intersection of River and Division, and that resulted in some of those changes, which I think were mistakes personally, as someone who uses that every day of my life. So there was a traffic study done specifically about that intersection about 5 years ago.
2015, I read that before coming to the meeting.
Yeah.
So in that study, none of the things that I had asked for were adopted by the consultant. And the things that were recommended by the consultant were not done, that I can tell. So in the cause of moving that hotel application ahead, I think this is something that needs to be resolved, so we don't get stuck looking for more studies.
About that.
Yeah,
I think it's ancillary because in some of the meetings I've been to, a lot of people said that intersection could see some heavier traffic resulting from the hotel being there as another way to sort of get out and either to Blue Point or up to Main Street.
but well, if you remember too, from the carriage house application, that intersection is also part of the whole traffic pattern for eventually when we get to see the carriage house project. So we're gonna have new stresses on that area, which is already under stress. So, yeah, so I would just say that,
I'll make sure that we contact the engineers and the hotel developer.
and if they don't have a copy of their study, I do. Thanks. Oh, I just wanna say, turkeys, deers at your house, do you have any coyotes too?
No coyotes, 5 deer and a wild turkey on the front porch in front of the glass in the storm door. Looked male. Sizing up whether he was gonna have a fight with himself.
They do that, the reflection in cars, that's why they attack cars, they're not just attacking the car, they're attacking their
Attacking
reflection.
them.
On River Avenue too, John, the biggest wild turkey I ever saw in my life was at my bird feeder last week. I did chase that sucker.
Really?
With a male fighting a car and satellite pizza at Bayport the other night, you would not let the poor woman leave.
And
Yeah.
he and goes to the front of the school, so that when you wanna get into the front doors of Bayport High School, he's challenging.
I got some problems.
I think that guy was collecting money.
Don't kill him, you're going to jail. I don't know.
Thanks, John.
We have a whole
Thank
pack
you.
on Highland Avenue that come
Anybody
out.
else? No, man? Well,
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Name is George Oriana. I live at 40 Taylor Street. I was just here to wondering,
40 Caber?
Terry.
Terry.
I know lately, Patchogue has grown a lot, so, and so does traffic. I don't know why, but every, like, the weekends, like, the new building, right at the corner with, Taylor, I think it is. The cars come, make the stop, and then just think like it's a racetrack. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it, like I was thinking maybe some, requesting for speed bumps.
Going east.
Going east, correct. So
So
when they make the stop at the, Terry and, I think it's.
Taylor, you were on
Taylor,
space,
yes,
is right.
Taylor, correct, yes. So they stop right there and then just go.
Pedal to the metal.
It's like, every weekend is like that. So I don't know if there's anything that we can look at into it. I mean, I was trying to make videos because it's like every weekend like that. I got a little kid.
Is it,
Uh-huh.
is it on the weekends primarily or?
It's most likely on the weekends, but sometimes also, like nighttime. I don't know why or what they think it is. It's like, racetrack or anything like that, but it's
I
like.
have a meeting coming up with the inspector at the fifth. I'll talk to him about, they kind of speed control, whether they could do radar on it. They could do something and
I mean, I doubt that's gonna work. I think the only thing that might work is that like speed bump or something.
the problem with the speed bumps, and we've had them over the years, and we'll have them reevaluated, is speed sometimes creates a problem with speed bumps, up, over and in. We've had a number of accidents around there in speed bumps, so we're cautious about doing it. Not saying we won't, but we're cautious about it. Maybe it's the size and the level.
And with the proximity of the houses, they're closer to the street, that could.
Yeah, because I know, I think 2 weeks ago, my neighbor, she was backing up because, she goes in on the driveway, so she was backing up. I guess the other guy didn't see. It was like just close to getting the car backing up, so. Like I said, I got a little kid myself.
No,
My sister got 2 little kids, which,
I
they,
understand your concerns.
mhm.
Well, let's take a look at it. Let me talk to the inspector, see if they have some ideas.
Okay, like I said, if it needed to be, I can make some videos. I got the cameras, I can bring the videos, so you guys take a look at it, it's like.
No. Yeah, I'm on Terry Street quite often. My daughter's in art space, so
Mhm.
I stop by there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It is a straight one.
yeah.
Make that turn.
And I don't know why, it's just like,
My car was totaled in front of the art space on Terry Street.
yeah, and I think it was like 2 weeks ago, also, there was
Guy
a
came
Jeep
around
that
the
just
corner.
crashed into the building.
Guy came around the corner from North Ocean Avenue, from South Ocean Avenue,
Mhm.
going north. Pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Never hit the brakes,
Mhm.
and totaled my car.
Unfortunately, it's a problem on a lot of, it's a problem on most of our streets in the
Yeah.
village, the excessive speeding and,
Distracted.
it's something that we're aware of and some things work. I know we can't put them everywhere, but those, your speed things, I mean, I think most people, when they say, oh, I'm going that fast, you tend to slow down. They keep you honest, I think. So there's a number of things we could try.
Mhm.
But yeah, the speed bumps have become sort of problematic. They've caused some harm as well as,
Well, let me talk to the inspector. Let me take a look and see if there's anything else we can do.
Cause even though if they come, like, say they come out of the parking lot, like, it's, right across my house. If they take that stop going down on Taylor, it's still, they do the same thing, so it's not just on Terry, it's also going towards the, this one right here, the,
Academy.
Academy, yes.
even that long a street, which is surprising, it ends at Ryder, so I mean, River Avenue where I live, I understand. It's a long run.
They're getting around, they're staying off Main Street.
But it's scary, especially because the houses are so close on Terry. So children, like he mentioned, and cars backing up, this is a huge, huge risk for families living there.
Mhm.
I don't, we'll take a look, but please come and tell us if it continues, but I know the mayor will take it seriously,
Like I said, I'm speaking with the inspector on issues. I will absolutely bring up that one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir,
Thank
for your
you.
context, we appreciate it.
Any other comment? by the
I
board?
think even the bumps,
Mark,
instead
you
of
done?
Yeah, absolutely.
the
Double strip?
the rumbles, but a little bit longer,
Yeah,
so
like
it can be.
the whole block. I bet.
Because they don't launch you and you can't, they
Yeah.
have them in Cancun and they're very effective.
Yes, so maybe this is a street we can try that.
Okay.
That's it.
Very good. Any other comments?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Board,
Thank you.
let's go home.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.